Listen. Listen. Why are you watching this video and how did you find it? Probably you're watching this video because you're lucky enough to have just received your Type M migrant visa to stay in Colombia. You probably got this visa because maybe you married a Colombian. Maybe you bought some real estate. Maybe you have started a business. To get this visa, you submitted a bunch of documents to the Colombian government. You waited about 5 business days and they got back to you and said, you're approved, you may stay in Colombia. What they also tell you, and you know this because you're watching this video, is that you're legally obligated within 15 days of either getting this visa, if you're in Colombia, or entering the country if you got the visa outside of the country. You are required by law to get a document card called a Cédula de Extranjería. So the foreigner's cédula. And this is a document card required for people who are staying in the country with a visa that lasts more than 3 months. If you don't get this identity card, you're liable to pay a fine of somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000, depending on the exchange rate. When would you pay this fine? That's a real question. If you know, please put it in the comments below. I don't know when you would pay the fine. Maybe never. In any case, I've always followed the rules, gotten the Cédula de Extranjería. It's not super expensive. It's not super hard to get. In 2020, it's 203,000 pesos to get the Cédula de Extranjería, which right now I think is about $52. If you're from Ecuador, it's $5 for the first time, $10 for the second time. The Cédula de Extranjería lasts you for 3 years. So after 3 years, you're probably going to need to get a new visa, and you're also going to need to get a new cédula. For a non-citizen, this is the best type of identity document in Colombia, meaning that you can board a plane without your passport. You can leave your passport at home. You can open bank accounts with this document, work legally with this document. The first step is to gather all your documents. And one thing that's different this time around is that we're in a health crisis and the Colombian government is only issuing e-visas. In the past, you needed to mail your passport to Bogota, or if you're in Bogota, bring it to an office somewhere, and they would put a physical visa inside your passport and mail it back. Since the health crisis, the Colombian government is only issuing the digital version that they email to you, and for the process of getting your cédula de extranjería, you simply need to print that out and bring it to your appointment. Additionally, you need your physical passport and a copy of the data page or the page in your passport that has the photo of you. You also need to know your blood type. Technically, they'll believe whatever you tell them, so if you don't know your blood type, you can say A+, but because this is actually printed on your document, I would recommend telling them the truth. In an emergency situation, they might look at your cédula and see the blood type and believe it. The next step is to decide the location where you're going to do the process, which is generally a major city that you live in or the closest one near you. And you need to fill out a form providing your name, your email, your visa information, your address, your place of work, if it applies, and uploading a copy of your documents. After you submit this form, it's time to set up your appointment, which is really easy. You just go online. You select either that you're renewing or you're getting your first cédula. You give your document information, which will be your passport number, your name, your email, and you select a date. When your appointment arrives, you're going to go to the Migración office. You arrive, you stand in line, you tell them why you're there. When they allow you to enter, they put you in sort of the back right seat. And as people are being processed, you move to the next seat to your left, and then you move up a row, and then to the right, until you're sort of in the front right seat, and then that means you can go talk to the guy. There are 3 steps, at least when I did it. You talk to one person who takes your email and your address and all this information that you've already given them in a form, and he does something on a computer for 5 or 6 minutes, and then he tells you to sit and wait for the next person. So that's step 1. Step 2 is, again, you give your passport, you give all your documents, and this person sits behind a computer, types some stuff, and then they accept your payment. For payment, I paid in credit card, which was the easiest. I'm not sure, but probably you can pay in cash or do bank transfers. And then the next step is they tell you to go to the third person, which is the person who takes your biometrics, your fingerprints. They take all of your fingerprints and they take a photo of you. The longest part of the process is generally standing outside the office waiting to get in Medellin at least. Not sure how it works in other cities, but you stand outside and you wait. That can take, 10 minutes. And then the part where you're moving through the chairs, that can take about 15 minutes. The talking to the 3 different people itself takes about 3 minutes as well. And at the end of it, they tell you to set up another appointment to come back to pick up your document in a week. So you get home and you've been told to set up an appointment to pick up your document in a week. Now, what I recommend is that instead of doing that, you look at this PDF that shows all of the cédulas that have been processed and are ready for pickup. When you see it there, it's time to make another appointment for pickup. You're going to use the same portal as when you made your first appointment, but this time it's very important to make an appointment for picking up. It's very important that you select the right appointment type. The appointment needs to be entrega de documentos, because from my experience, if you can't find any near-term appointments for entrega de documentos and you select the original cédula appointment type, thinking, okay, I'm going to show up and they have my document and they'll give it to me because it's just handing me a document, they won't do that. They're very strict in that case. When I did this, it's because for some reason, there were no entrega de documentos appointments for weeks. I actually thought the system was broken. And I selected the original appointment type to go pick up my document. I arrived at Migración, and there were about 3 other people who had tried the same thing, and they turned all of us away. And they weren't smiling about this situation. So it's important to select the right type. If you can't find an appointment in a few days, maybe just keep looking farther and farther ahead. It may just be that there aren't any near-term appointments available. And that's it. You go, you pick up your document, and you have successfully done a process to get a document that will help you avoid fines. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope it was helpful. I know this process can be challenging, especially if Spanish isn't your first language. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to answer if I can. If you have any problems, or if you're successful, please leave a comment below as well so that other people can learn from your experience. Below in the description of the video, I'm leaving the links to all of the useful websites and resources and the forms that you need to fill out to complete this process. If you liked the video, please hit the like button down below. If you didn't like the video, please hit the subscribe button down below, because I'll be making more videos in the future and I'm sure you'll like them.